we're gonna start streaming the creation of an app. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a C command line app, which makes it so that we can download and install app images. So why am I doing that? Well, one of my pet peeves on Linux is that app images aren't easily installable. So in the Windows world, we have something that's called scoop, so scoop.sh. So yeah, that's basically it. So I want to make something like that, but on Linux for app images, because app images are the way that I'm using it right now to make, well, not make, but install applications. So if you go in my downloads, you can see I have loads of app images, some that work, some that don't. Now this is ugly, and I don't want to have this in the long run, basically. So the best way to do it would be to have an app image installer. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start from scratch, from the beginning. The only thing that we're going to do that's maybe different is we're going to use KinkMake. So that's a tool to create C projects. So C projects that can be used, let's say, for example, in code blocks. Because we're going to develop in code blocks. So let's start by doing a repo for that. Now, in the past, I created a repository that was called Shovel. I'm going to search to make sure that I still don't have it. If I still have it, I'll just like update. Yeah, so I have Shovel and it's private. So I'll just delete that and we'll make that public. Because I started doing it in hacks in the past, but I don't want to use hacks anymore. So, well, I don't want to use hacks for most of what I'm doing. So that's why I'm using C now. So, we'll rename it. And then I'll create a new one that's public, and it will be C code. So Shovel. So yeah, add a readme. Then we're gonna clone it, and we'll start doing all the magic stuff. Okay. So I had a command line that was go git clone. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to open a project code. And I said that I was gonna use code blocks, but I'm using Visual Studio Code right now. The reason being that to create the code blocks projects, we need to use KinkMake, and it's easier to use it from VS Code and to modify the kinkfile.js from there. Where is my shovel? Shovel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a kink project. So init the kink project. So that's gonna create a source file. We're gonna do two things. First, we're gonna deactivate kink. We don't want it. So kink would be a way to add a UI to the game. Well, to the app image installer. So my goal is to have both. So have the app image installer and have, well, the GUI and the non-GUI one. So we're going to start by doing the command line one. And if people like it, I'll make a GUI, and people want to have a GUI version, I'm going to make a graphical UI version. But using it from the command line is mostly what we want anyways. Because that's life, I guess. Just the way I do it. Yeah. So let's do it like that. And then we need, since we're using KinkMake, it lets us define that we want this to be a command line application. And then we can start writing our C code in main. Now, we're not going to be importing this. And we're actually going to be doing a main. Let's include the basics. I don't know. Let's add uni and STD, or just STD. We'll see if we need something more afterwards. So as soon as we have that, we can create our project file. But we would actually need a KinkMake, and this isn't a kink project. We're gonna need to add our tool. We're gonna open the terminal, mkdir. I don't remember if we can mkdir on Linux, but we'll try it. Mkdir tool. Created the tools folder. So in our tools folder, we're gonna clone. Well, we're gonna add a submodule. So git submodule add, and we're gonna add KinkMake. So let's go get KinkMake. Like I remember the repo by heart, but I like to. I'm gonna close this one off. Doing a test doesn't really work. This one all. So our project. We're adding KinkMake here. Cool. Now what that does is it adds a submodule, but it makes it so that our make application or whatever is local to our Git repo. So that's cool for a couple of things, mostly for being able to recompile your project and not needing to install anything. So that's one of the reasons why I do it. Eventually, this will be changed to KMake, but right now it uses KinkMake. Basically, KMake and KinkMake are the same thing. It's just that KMake will not need to have Node installed. Because right now, the only dependency for KinkMake is to have Node installed. I mean, most developers have Node installed for making web stuff or whatever. So it's not a big problem. But eventually, with KMake, when we won't need Node, we're going to live a better life. So, we have this. We have that. We can call this shovel. So the project is going to be named shovel. Next, we need to have our task. So we will add our default build task. So configure tasks. Create a task. There we go. So we would do node. Okay. So it's a shell. It's going to be node make no node talking make yes. So it will by itself detect what platform we're on. So I don't need to specify anything, and this is gonna work cross-platform. So that's a huge advantage. So on on Windows, it's gonna create a Visual Studio project, basically. Just give me a sec. I'm just gonna go do something on Windows because I'm on both OSs right now. And yeah, so we're almost done. Next step is we're gonna add some projects that we need. So we're gonna need probably some STB libs and other libs also. So we're gonna do that. So there we go. So I'm done with Windows. Okay. So now we need to get our dependencies. We're gonna need CJSON. I mean, we could eventually change that. I'll just use CJSON for now. I just want to have a basic JSON library because to make what we need to make, we need to be able to load this basically. So this is a JSON file containing each app image available by third parties. So there are a lot. Yeah, so we're gonna need a JSON parser for that. And in C, we don't have a lot of choices for JSON anyways. So we're gonna go do that. We're also gonna need a way to get the feed JSON. So I never did some HTTP stuff. I'm probably gonna have to research that. I mean, that's the first step to everything, right? So DuckDuckGo is good all the time. Look at C++. I mean, it's probably an HTTP request. So do we need to use libcurl? Okay. Use it. Interesting. I mean, we could use that if it supports C. But do a request. So we could use that. Or we could go have a look at STB libs and see if he has any HTTP code. Yeah, so there's going to be HTTP there, but so no HTTP code. So API HTTP might guess, I guess. Where is it? Is that a repo somewhere? So it's just a tar file. License. Elib PNG, that's fine. We'll use that. I mean, let's just. Oh, yay. That we can do that. Okay. Let's save the file. I mean, this code could probably be totally off. Since it dates from 2006. Like, was that posted? Oh, that's 2012. 12, 15. You could just use wget. That would probably be. Or maybe use libcurl direct. So let's libcurl on GitHub. Yeah, I just want the library, right? I don't want to use. Let's read the man. How and where do I get? A Unix-like machine. I can just link and say lib. So let's look at the libcurl e. The annoying part is I would prefer just have the libcurl files. Like, why do I need so many comp? I'm just gonna use happy stuff since he was happy about his work. I mean, either way, I don't mind. We'll just take his code, bring that in. And we'll create a happy key. That, and then we need who's dope project. we need to add the happy HTTP stuff. So library slash include, and then we need to add so we're gonna actually do add files because we're gonna need to add files. That now or something. That's not probably safe, but we'll evaluate it later on. We're probably going to need to extern C this code. Because that's not C friendly. Yeah, because that defines classes and then base. Kind of ugly. I'm kind of curious as to why nobody has built something like that. Let's see. Single header. Let's see if something. Why does C++ though? Why? Probably because the STD is more favorable. Okay, let's look at make HTTP. We'll actually do an HTTP. So we're back to where we started. Need ARPA. ARPA. Cool. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna. Kind of boring though. HTTP request. Let's see. We need to have an. So there's actually a widget that we can get. Let's get that. Page. We're gonna make function void s. So we're gonna see what we need. That afterwards. Do HTTP. Then we're gonna do void request. That. Now we have huge errors, which is fine. I'm gonna go get our copy code. So it's whining somewhere. argv. Oh, okay. So what was he giving his? Giving it a host name. So the host name is the web link. Cool. Put a server port by default. We don't need it. So we're just gonna receive a car pointer, probably a const car pointer. Const. Probably gonna need to parse that pointer to actually get host name. So let's do that. Get our string. Gonna need to post anything, so we're just gonna use it. Let's do a pointer port. And then in the I actually need to add those. And we need to I thought it would auto-complete it. But I mean, it does that in Visual Studio, maybe not here. We'll see. We shall see. It's because I didn't. It gets that, but it doesn't create the comment. So, maybe I should name it URL. Makes more sense. Okay. God, I'm good at goofing off with. I think ports are 8080 usually. The 8080 port for GET requests. So you added it on GitHub because it's the Linux kernel, right? So what's the license for that? Oh. Well, I mean, the source is available. I'm gonna have to have the GPL license. Well, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, kind of annoying. Anyways, we're gonna need the STB code. So yeah, we'll do that. So let's do that. Close the connection after request. There we go. Now it's whining about this. This will be all. So I did some marvelous string parsing the other day. I'm gonna need to go look at my code. Let's look. So Kmake basically is some of my code, some of someone else's code. I used it here. Do some big stuff. I'm gonna need string dot. How do I use string.h? Maybe it's stdlib and stdio. Those are probably what I'm using. So, what am I doing when I'm parsing? Training. Doesn't like my... That's weird. Probably just VS Code's parsing, which is off. That's gonna be fine. So the F open. I mean, in mkdir, dir. did something. Recursive MK. Yeah. So basically we use this. We won't use like oh. So we're gonna get URL length, and we'll do URL. So that returns token. What did we do? So the token is the string directly. Hey Furex, how are you? So yeah, we're gonna get the token directly, and then we need to do. We need to change the token. So to do this, right? So, hey, good. When people are good and I'm fine, everything's fine, I guess. Yeah. So websites are usually separated with, yeah, the front dash. So we should be, well, the front slash, sorry. Yeah, we don't need the out. Not for now anyways. So the first one is going to be the host name. So we're gonna make this null. Then it's not gonna be null. Well, except yeah, sure, go ahead. What are you trying to do? We're gonna assert on that, and we're gonna specify the server port. Do 88. So sad. Do P. I hate doing that though, but so what was your question? I bet it's long to write probably, so if server port 0, there we go. First steps. Yeah, fine. I mean, you can still ask, but I won't probably know. Because I do mostly C. I do some C++, but it really depends. Like, if it's something relating to, like, move constructors or stuff like that, I don't do that. Like, that's too complicated for anybody, if you ask me. But, go ahead, ask. I mean, if I'm able, I'll answer, I guess. So the request link. Sure. That's so sad. So are you on Windows or on Linux? Because the answer is going to be different. So if you want to load, so it depends also if it's system library. So system libraries can be loaded easily. But if you want to load, yeah, sure. So to load a library on Windows, so it's gonna be a dynamic library, I guess. There are a couple of ways. If you want your code to be cross-platform, I'd use like something that already does this for you, and that's easily integratable. So I don't know if I can go and find what I'm thinking about right now, but let's go. My profile. But the basics just for Windows is to use Windows load library. aegis.cpp. Okay. So what you're asking for is an include, right? So you want to include a project. You want to include aegis.cpp, yeah. So that's not the same thing as loading a library. So loading, well, yeah. So you have static libs and dynamic libraries that you can just load in your application if you want, using on Windows load library or load library A. So those are functions that'll take a dynamic lib. Now I'll have a look at Aegis actually. This.cpp. Now probably what would be easiest is if you know you're using the same compiler as them, you could just import the library statically, but they're including the code, so you don't get the library. You need to build it for yourself, which is kind of annoying. Oh, okay. It's a Discord API. Yeah. It's some modern C++ also. The worst. There isn't any like. Yeah, is there a because I'd just use this library, a C library for Discord. There you go. You see, this is going to be simpler. Now, is that cross-platform though? And it's a bit old, but I guess, yeah, it needs some work also. Sad. Yeah, but just to tell you the workflow, Sleepy Discord. Look at Sleep. I hope it doesn't sleep regularly. So that seems a little bit cleaner. So you have the includes and the CPPs, I guess. Yeah. So that's a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna... The consoles are gonna let you use Discord. But I mean, maybe. Oh, really? Non-official. Okay, so to answer your question, what I would usually do is I would make a kink project. So what that does is it builds my project files for me. So I can just specify in a JavaScript file. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. So what you can do is you can have a JavaScript file that contains every definition that you need. So let's say you have your Discord library. I just add the include directories, add the files that it uses. But if it's a directory like this, you can just do this actually. That's going to include all the files, so you don't need to specify each individual file. And then what that does is it builds a Visual Studio project that contains everything. And you don't need to handle like visually how Visual Studio works. It just creates it for you. Now, I'm not on Windows right now, but like maybe at some point I could show you if you want. But if you want to go see what it is, really your waifu, you can go have a look at I should really open my chat on Linux because right now it's on Windows. I'm actually gonna need to go on Windows to do that. Kind of annoying. So GitHub. So yeah, I would use that because making Visual Studio projects is a pain, and I just like defining in a little JS file what I need, and then do whatever I need with it. Because like even right now, what I'm doing with this project is I'm writing the JS file, but then I'm gonna build a project file for the IDE that I use on Linux. So the IDE is code blocks of Visual Studio on Linux, let's say. They're not the same thing. Like Visual Studio has some things that it does better, but yeah. So you can go have a look at KinkMake. And just to use it, you just need to do like what I'm doing right now. You could also use the the Kink extension on VS Code. So this makes it easy to start a project. I mean, that's the route I would go. And then you just like include a subdirectory. What I'm gonna do, so right now I didn't do it yet, but I'm gonna include some libraries from Nothings. That's annoying. Because I don't want to include everything. I'm gonna have to exclude specific files. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna add a subdirectory of this to my project, for example. So in the libraries, so git sub. This may be too complicated for you now, though. I don't know how versed you are in it. Like, I would do that with your Aegis library or your Sleepy Discord library, basically. If ever you encounter any issues, just comment in the chat and I'll try to help you. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You got a lot to learn, though. Like, if you're a pure beginner, I'd tell you, like, maybe try to do a Discord bot with the JavaScript API. But maybe you already did that, right? And you want to learn C++. I mean, like, the best thing you could do since you're a beginner is just making a command line application. That would be probably best. But I get why, when you're beginning, you want to make a project that makes sense to you or that you feel has value. And making command line applications are kind of boring. Yeah, I know. Well, you learn in time anyways. I mean, the first step would be try to learn C, because it'll be easier than C++ to a certain, like, depending on what you're doing. But it's kind of simpler in my eye. Anyways, I'm going to continue what I was doing. So go have a look. So how can I include one little... I just add a age. Oh, so that's gonna push the file to the what I want. Probably public, I don't know. Let's see. So we'll remove that because we don't need it anymore. We aren't happy anymore. So sad. So project dot add file. Add library. stb slash that's how I included in project. Let's see. How do I do it? github.com/ code. Go see that. Iron C. You see, how do we iron C? I want to see this file. Oh, I just include the dir. Okay. We'll do it like that. Because I'm lazy. We'll include the whole dir and it's going to see what we want. We can delete that. Keep stb. And we're probably going to need CJSON. So to get CJSON, we got to go see stb because they have a JSON thing. I thought they had that in the... I think there's a file like other... single file lit. Let's do a search for H. Oh, you know, I could have just done that. Let's support this guy on coffee if it's... I just want... What can we do? Request. Get. Oh, that's fine. Request. That's fine. Actually, we'll do that. Laziness is key. I mean, there's probably another HTTP one. We'll use that. Let's subdirectory. Are there any like Discord clients for it? Well, not Discord, but like Discord API. So let's see. Jason, which I think CJSON was quite. JSON is the parsing. Bad, I guess. Not that bad. Lower is better, so we'll use CJSON here. Boost place. Just the boost thing. Bad idea. So let's do next library. So this, and then why did I copy boot? Want to copy the. So let's make it from, which isn't from scratch because we're whatever. Why is it? Am I not copying? Like, what's the problem? Go. VS Code. There we go. Kind of sad because I just want to. I'll just try to add the file directly. What do you mean developer portal? And I think I forgot like at what point I libs h just a dot. Yeah, no. You ask for a dot dot. Was it a Discord clan? No. I think I said client, but it wasn't client that I meant. Oof. Yeah, thank you. Prefer a GitHub link. Wasn't it supposed to be like one being C? Okay. Get the. That's what I remember from CJSON. Like, I just want the file. Can I just have this? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, my main language is French, but I learned English because my country there's a lot of English provinces, and I lived in one of them. So that's why my English isn't that bad, but if I didn't live in another province, I wouldn't speak as fluently probably. Like most people in the province where I am right now don't speak that much English. Or they have a huge accent. Usually not that appealing. Can I just get the release or something? Nothing. Yeah. So we're just getting the. Oh, we'll just do a git clone. This. Like I thought this would be like one file, but sadly, but it's gonna be okay. So let's add a new project. Good. We'll add the includer. Probably. Oh, okay. What country are you from? Or now, in theory, considering you want to learn C++. Oh, Germany. Okay. I was gonna say India, but Germany is fine also. Because a lot of C++ or like most people who want to learn C or C++ are Indian. That I know of. Like, I mean, maybe that's because like at Germany, in Canada, like most universities teach. Well, it's known for Java, but there are a lot of C and C++ programmers from there also. But yes, I mean, yeah. It doesn't mean that you're Indian, that you're going to program in C or C++, or just you're going to program in Java. But yeah. Oh, okay, the JSON is in. Oh, by the way, if you wanted to. Okay. You know what would be even better? Well, it depends what you want to do. Like, do you want to become a gameplay programmer? Or do you want to become an engine programmer? So depending on what you want to do, I tell you, like, try to use something low level. And if you want an example, I can give you one, but I don't know if that's something that you want. So if you want to become a gameplay programmer, I tell you, like, yeah, sure, go and use Unreal. But if you don't want to do that, and if you want to become an engine programmer, yeah, make something low level. Like, try to make your own engine. It's pretty cool. It's pretty gratifying. And yeah. JSON. We're gonna drop my. Okay. Where's it? We can drop that. Now. Where's it? Let's just do a test. So can we include any of the. I think I need to compile again. So let's that. Oh, I didn't compile. So Node King. Not. Let's make it the default build. I don't remember the command. Let's have a look. Let's go in options. What are the options? Let's go see. I kind of hate yes code. You're open for everything. So I tell you to try learning something low level first, because the bloat in Unreal and the bloat in C++ is gonna hinder your understanding of what you actually need to learn. And then when you want to go the next step and like use what, I don't want to say what people in the industry use, but more like when you've learned the basics of how to use pointers, how to create your own strings, and not necessarily depend on the string dot. Well, not necessarily depend on the standard library to help you. You're gonna be a better C++ programmer, basically. How do I define? Just want to define. So group is kind build is default. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. So it needs to be group. Okay, so you want to learn to be a programmer? Start by writing C. So you already programmed in other languages, or C++ was your first language? Because that's going to influence what I'm going to say. So if you programmed in other languages, just tell me what language. So you started with Java, okay. That's what, yeah, Java or JavaScript, people usually use that. So you get the basics. Now, in C++, so in C++ mostly, you're going to have objects like in Java. And in C, you don't necessarily have like inheritance, but you can fake it. But that's not necessarily a good idea. But by doing things in C, like making a basic file system handler, or like creating, destroying files, and doing things like that. I mean, the ideal thing would be like have a project that you want to do. Like let's say you want to make a little game. Start by doing a dungeon in pure, like on the command line, and generate dungeons just with C, so with the characters. And then by doing that, you're going to learn how to use strings in C, which aren't strings, but char arrays. And then you're going to learn a lot relating to how memory works. Because in Java, you like do new, but you don't know where memory lives. And if you want like some pointers on making memory allocators, I can share also some inspiration that you can look at, which is quite good for small projects. But just at the beginning, don't bother with memory and like malloc and all that. Just create a small game that runs in the command line and just have a while loop that renders text. Like, that's the most basic stuff you could make. And if you want to go even more basic, don't even use Visual Studio. Use something like Replit, basically. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a free platform where you can make like little projects, and then it's all built on a server, so you don't need to configure anything, and it just works. Anyways, so make something small in C, then see what you could do that's bigger, like a Discord bot in C. Oof, Eclipse is terrible. You're better off with Visual Studio, even if it's bloated and it's terrible, but it's better than Eclipse, in my view. I used Eclipse when I was studying, and it was fine, but the crashes and all the problems, it was kind of a pain. Yeah. But like Replit, you won't have any like configurations to make. You can just start programming and start. You just need to include the files that you need, but you would include like basic standard library stuff, so you don't need uber complex stuff. Okay. Now, why did I fail? Oh yeah, because it's not... Now it's gonna... Okay, so it still failed. Bad. What did it not... I don't like when... Oh, I need to do core make. So you see, like right now I'm on Linux. So it's gonna create a code blocks project file. So then I can just go in code blocks and start working on whatever the project is. This. Get. I could get whatever I want. Yeah, and that's a bad idea. When your application is as stable as finicky OSs, that means there's a problem. Like, an OS is a huge thing to make. An IDE also, but it shouldn't break in that way. But yeah. Now the first thing that I'm kind of realizing is this is disgusting because my eyes are bleeding right now. So is there a dark mode in code block? Settings. Editor. Change the general setting. You have a dark mode. Do you have a dark mode? Have a dark mode. That's the only thing I want. I don't want to have to search online. Please. So that's the code completion. Okay. Tell me, I just want a different theme. So we're gonna need to search online, which is a pain. Dark mode. Jeez. What? What? Are you kidding? You're on using the Windows thing to. Interesting. It's interesting that I need to download something just for a theme. Hold that. I don't have music anymore. Uh, Code blocks. And we need. What? That must probably be. I mean, that's not what I wanted to do today, but apparently that's what we're. Should have changed that on my time, but I decided to change it now. Sorry. Blocks or something. Local maybe. Share. Blocks. Wow, that's too complicated for just code. And then it says we want to open. Sorry, bro. I have too much. So what does it do after team? This is really stupid. I have to use. big file. It seems that changing something as simple as I should probably write on Linux or something. So that's on Windows. That's. I mean, code blocks is how old? Should probably like have it by default. Settings, environments, and colors. What? It's because it uses wax widgets. I mean, at some point, I'm probably gonna have to make. Probably gonna have to make an IDE. Oh yeah, okay, so that's Geek for Geeks. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now. So my eyes are gonna bleed and yours too, but I'm sorry. I mean, it's CodeBlock's fault. It doesn't enable something by default. I mean, come on. I can close that one off. I can close that one off. That I keep. So sorry, Ferex. It's gonna be white mode all the way. Oh my god, my eyes are bleeding. I'll stop whining and start coding. Okay. So it is, but yeah. We'll survive. So, first steps first. We need to receive the args. Get the date. So how we're gonna want to receive stuff is we're gonna start by getting file before doing anything. Because how we want the app image installer to work, we want it to be able to just specify what it wants to do. So the first argument is going to be what action it wants to do, and the second argument is going to be what the name of what it wants to do it to. So for example, I want to install VS Code that is an app image. I would do shovel install VS Code, and that would install the app image. So that would be fine. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to have info install. I'll just add a comment here for that. Available action. Oh, I want to support RM for remove. And we would have also update wouldn't upgrade because aptitude packages always do upgrade. So you need to update and then upgrade, which is kind of stupid. I'm doing it for myself. But that's a good question. Cause I use app images on Linux a lot. So my job is a teacher, so not really relative to my job. So there. Then we need to see if we have the file. I'm gonna need to go get some. Let's go get some open. FO. Now, if you want to understand what I'm doing, we're gonna actually try to get. What subjects do I teach? I teach game dev programming, basically. I'm gonna try to search for Jason. Get the text and print. Adding. It is this. Make sure that everything works. That's gonna be so we don't need a destination file. Probably we need to write files, but no. So now we won't do the yet. If I'm not mistaken, FO. So if it's null, we're gonna do some. If full null, then we're gonna do. Then we're gonna do the HTTP request. Get URL is app image stuff, which is here. Be that. We're gonna do that. This. Okay. App image.json. Now that dude had H. West. That. If ever you need help with your French homework, I can help. Vu que je parle en français, basically. Kind of funny though that you have a French homework. Anyways, So good homework, and I'll see you later. So, what did he do? What did he do? Um, that dude, what did he do? Let's see. So, why, if not request, so it's an invalid request. It needs to be a pointer. Cool. Um, go have a look at what. Not. There's the get. Oh my god, this is disgusting. Because I'm in a file, like, oh no, because it's not at the right place or something. So we'll do it like he does. Can't use. Kind of annoying. So I need that. Uh, we'll do it like that. I mean, I should probably only need it here, so we won't post anything. Well, maybe we're gonna get stuff. We'll know. We'll know what we know. So apparently we don't have CJ, which is bad. Why didn't it go have a look? It hit to be include DIRs, and I need to include all the DIRs in it. I don't know. So it included that, but it didn't include files that we need, like CJSON. We're gonna do that. I mean, it's probably not gonna build also. I should even build. Oh, how many documents does it need? Memory context. What is the? Go have a look. Null. That's great. That says a lot. I mean, why even add it? I'm probably gonna need STD. ST. We're gonna need the STD. I just compile it here. I'll try the compile here. Dot. Oh. File. I didn't add. That's the. Page. Hashtag. Page. So we have an error. What is? I mean, we don't want to add the. We need project. I think. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have to go back to my other window. Right now, I don't see pp11. 11 full. Happen. If it compiles now. Doesn't know what Aluka is. How do we include Aluka? Is available through stdio. But still test it again. Errored that. You went. Ah. Ah. That's probably the error. Gonna be stupid, but do. And then we'll probably stop whining. Ish. Yeah, yo. H. Oh. Now it doesn't get. Let's do seal. Let's go in his example. Let's see what he did. So that's in a dot what file? C or C++. We're not going to use custom memory allocators, but we could in the future. Ah, t'as fini? Tant mieux. How hard was it? What did you need to do? Probably make some sentences or whatnot. Right? Food. Cat wine. Food. Probably going to have to give him food. That's kind of important. Dot dot. still has you in that. Why does it fail? Fail? I think it doesn't support. Yeah, it supports C, but it's like it doesn't find STD def. So this should be included, right? I mean, it's maybe because I'm doing in 1.h or kind of annoying. Yeah, the good homeschooling. I mean, it's fine if you at least learn something in the end. But sometimes imitating work from someone else can help. Like even in programming, we do that, right? So I don't see why in other domains it wouldn't be valid. So I'm starting to get amped, so I'm going to put some amped music. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm doing that. I'm going to go give some food to my cat, and then I'll be back. So just give me like 2 minutes. Okay, so you wanted food. I was right. You also wanted to go outside, but that's just life, I guess. I need to go back on Linux. Here I am back on Linux, and it doesn't work. I hate when it does that. Okay. That's bad. I really hate it when it does that. So that's... Damned. Does that. Oh. It's just dead. I hate... I'm not gonna reboot live. That would be stupid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I would create your hippo. I can't say that word. Hippo. That project I wanted to make on Discord. I'm going to show you how to do it on Windows. Apparently, I need to reboot Linux. So yeah. So I'm going to stream locally. Oh, that's bad. Let's just... Now... Oh, you're seeing this window. That's odd. You should see the other window. So we'll do it like that. So, you wanted to use Sleepy Discord or Aegis? I'd say, like, Sleepy is probably better. Because it looks cleaner in how it's built. But I'll let you tell me what you want. Okay. We'll do Sleepy then. So first step, we actually need our folder. So do you use Git or are you just making projects directly on your computer and hoping that your computer won't cease to exist for whatever? Just want the... You use Git, okay. So I would actually show you the workflow that I do it. So it would be, I would go on GitHub, log in. I'll log in on my side, but... Okay. Then I would make a new repo. So it's going to be public. I'm going to create it. And then we shall clone it. I'm going to open the command line. I'm going to go to the D. Okay. So what we would do is we would git clone the project. That's pretty straightforward, right? Then I would open VS Code in Sleepyhead, but it didn't open in Sleepyhead. It opened in the last project I was doing. We're gonna go in Sleepyhead. So Sleepyhead. Cool. So next step, do you have the kink extension installed in your VS Code? If you don't have it, go to the extensions tab, write kink, and you should get this here. Yeah. Well, do you have VS Code? Because we're going to use Visual Studio. It's just, for the first steps, I use VS Code to create. Okay. So install that. Do you use Scoop? I'm going to show you what I mean. So to easily install something, I can use Scoop. So VS Code. So Scoop can install anything. So for example, I can do Scoop install VS Code, and it would install my VS Code for me. And I wouldn't need to do anything more complex. And the cool thing about that also is when it's done, you can either update it when you need to update stuff, or yeah, there's a couple of things you can do with Scoop that are cool. Now, you don't need to use that for now. It's just if ever you would like to simplify your life to install applications in general, Scoop on Windows is pretty good. So you can go install VS Code, and if you want, I'll show you Scoop later on how to install it. It's pretty straightforward, but so I'll let you just tell me when you're done installing VS Code. Good. So open it up in a folder that we're going to use for your Sleepyhead project. Yep, VS Code. And then you're going to have the icon right here for installing extensions for VS Code. You just click on that. And then you can search for Kinc, so K-I-N-C. And then when you find the plugin, you can just click on it and click on install. So just tell me when you're at that step, I guess. So there's no concept of I don't feel stupid. Like when we're learning, it's normal to not know stuff, right? So you don't have what we call projects in general. So just open up a folder. So let's say you have a folder that you want to have your project in. Well, open code in that folder. So for example, what I did at the beginning was I opened this folder by doing Control K and Control O, and that opens up a Windows folder thing, and then you can just select a folder that you want. So let's say you created your Sleepyhead folder. You click on your Sleepyhead, and it's going to open up the folder. And then with the extension, we're going to create the project basically. But right now, I am in Sleepyhead for me. I'm just going to make the UI a bit bigger so that it helps. So yeah. So afterwards, click on the extensions button. And make sure you installed Kinc. So you write Kinc, and then you do install. So just tell me when that's installed. I'm going a little bit fast maybe, so just tell me if ever. Okay, so once that's installed, and you're in the Sleepyhead folder, if you press F1, that opens up any option that you have for your extensions. So I have a lot of extensions. That's why it's like releasing a lot of stuff, showing me a lot of stuff. So you're gonna write a KINC, and it's gonna show you the kink init project. So you can click on that, and that's gonna create the project in the folder if you want. So as soon as you did F1 on your keyboard, you selected kink init project, you should then see this in your hierarchy. Just tell me when you're there, because it's hard to know when. Good. So that created a kink file.js, and that's fine. But what we won't be using the kink make that is provided with kink, because we're going to be using a custom project which isn't a core project or a kink project. So with kink make, you can make any C++ project, or you can make a kink based project. So if you want to know what kink is, think SDL but better, because it can actually do graphics. It doesn't chicken out when it comes to doing graphics. So click on the kinkfile.js for now. Go in the kink file and write project.core equals false. So that's going to make it so that it's actually just a pure C application. Then do you want your application to be a graphical user application or just a command line application? Okay, so we're going to need to add a new Boolean. So we're going to write project cmd equals true. CMD being command. So that's going to make a command line application. Now the next step is going to be to add your Sleepy Discord library, right? So we're going to do that. You're going to want to be making some C++ also, right? So if you want to make some C++ code, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the main.c file and rename it to .c++, not the folder, this file. .cpp. You're probably going to need to change this to main and include just the basics, so stdio probably. So when that's done, you renamed... Oh, it doesn't know what stdio is. Interesting. If I was in C, it would be fine, probably. So in C, it knows what... Ugh. Okay. I'll have to look at what it's... It's probably std.hpp. I'll try that. .hpp. I'll have a quick look. IO. cstdio.h. Okay. So that's by design. cstdio. So now you should find it. Kidding me? Give me a sec. Do I just include cstdio? I would do maybe just not h this. Okay, now it likes life. Okay, so we'll leave it like that for now. Yeah, there's IO stream also. Both are valid, I guess. We would need to know like what we're doing to actually do that. So the next step is to add our libraries. So what I usually do and what kink projects usually like to have, that's not necessary. You can just like include things directly there. Yeah. So what you can do is you make a folder that's called libraries. And then we're gonna actually just add our projects there. So it was Sleepy Discord, right? So we're gonna go get our Sleepy Discord. Sleepy Discord. From that little waifu dude. If it's a girl or if it's a guy, I don't know. What is your sex? Unknown. Aokiwu. So that's even harder to know. So we won't try to define the sex. Maybe both, yeah. Who knows? So it's a waifu, so both. We'll do our git clone. So if for you the project wasn't a git project, don't do the submodule. But if you cloned a repository from GitHub, like I did in the beginning, make a submodule. So you do, if you did like me, just do git submodule add, and then add the link. Make sure that you, I forgot to say that you right clicked on this and then do open an integrated terminal. Yeah. So you right click on the folder, open an integrated terminal. Sorry, I forgot to say that. I'm so used to it that I do it like... Good. So yeah, git submodule add and the link to your waifu stuff. So as soon as we have that, we can do the clone. And that's going to add our marvelous project. Now, this has a cmake list.txt. I'm probably going to have to look at that. I'm just going to change the zoom so I see a little bit better. Okay, so what we want is this. So, will you want to have the voice thing? Because you're going to need to have... Okay, this is quite complicated, I think, yeah. It's more complicated than I thought. But it's well, like, divided, I guess. Okay, good. If we only need text, we won't have the need for the audio stuff. We won't need libopus, which is also audio stuff. Libsodium. I don't remember what that is for. That's probably... Oh. Okay, so the issue with that is you have a lot of other projects. So what usually happens with this is that you're going to need a kink file for each, which is kind of annoying. It has a make file for Linux. Okay, this is weird. Does it have a dependency for all those libraries, but it's not included as a submodule? That's maybe it. Oof. So let's just try. No, you didn't miss something. Yeah, so if you used git submodule add and your project isn't a git project, that's why it failed. So just in your case, just do git clone the link to the project. Since your project right now isn't a git project. Okay. So we're gonna need to add and include there. Let's just see the hello. So what does the hello need? It just needs discord.h, okay? And what do we have in discord.h? Because now I need to understand what are the dependencies, and relative to the dependencies, do special stuff. Sleepy discord.h. So if def sleepy custom client. Okay. So we just need WebSockets. And I think that is included directly. So that's probably in... No. Where is it? Message... Yeah, so it's here. So those should be fine. And this is also here. Okay, so we might not need do a lot of complex stuff. No, let's just look at the make file. Because that's the thing with projects, is if they have a lot of dependencies, that's why I prefer to have like a single file header library, because it alleviates most of the issues. So when it builds all, it builds this and libcpr patch and libcpr.a. But is that only on Windows or cross-platform? Okay, so we'll just try stuff and see if it works. So we'll do the project.add include dir. Now what we need to add is the include directory here. So copy path. So what I did to get the path is you right click on the folder and we can do copy relative path. I don't know if I did relative. Yeah, I did relative. Yeah, so you do copy relative path. So if waifu, so let's have a look at waifu, at our little waifu. Sleepy is pronounced, yeah, it's a joke. Why? I don't want to know why. I want to know if it works on Windows. Okay. So it has no dependencies, that's good. Okay. Getting started. Let's see. It's probably gonna say, yeah, git version, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so for Windows, you can install it using blah, blah, blah. So we need OpenSSL to be installed for it to work. So we need to do that. And it says that you can do it like right here. And then that's just for Linux. And the Windows SDK should be installed. Okay. So it is cross-platform, so it is available for Windows and Linux. And it says any OS. Yeah, you can use that, but I won't do that. And then to build it, we're not going to use that. We're going to try to brute force it on our side. So we're going to add this folder. And we're going to add this. And then we're going to add project add file. And we're going to add Sleepy Discord. And that's called Sleepy Discord, Sleepy Discord. Yeah. So sleepy underscore. So basically this and this. So we're adding the files. Now, when I looked in the CMake file, so the CMake lists.txt, I was searching for any defines that needed to be used, but I don't see any defines, which is kind of annoying. Options. Yeah, there aren't any defines or link flags. And it's kind of weird that it gets a weird... Yeah, okay. So we'll leave it like that for now, and we'll just try that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build or call the yeah, we forgot one last thing. We forgot our kink make. Maybe you can just use the kink. Nah, we won't do that. We'll use the not normal way. So next we need to clone one last Discord, not Discord, one last Git repo. So we're gonna create a folder that's called tools. And we're gonna open the integrated terminal there. Then we're gonna go get kink make. So I'm gonna add it as a submodule, like I did earlier. But on your side, you're gonna need to do a git clone, basically. Or you lost? Did I lose you? You're fine, okay. Just to make sure, because I did a lot of stuff, so. Okay, so now that's cloned. Good. Next, we're gonna try to build. Sure. Open an integrated terminal. So we need to be at the sleepyhead source path, so the basic folder path. So we're gonna do a node. Do you have node installed? So you need that installed. If you had scoop, I could tell you like scoop install node JS and you'd be done. But so I'll give you the link. The download. I mean, you can probably Google that, but still. Just tell me when you have Node installed, right? While it's installing, I'll go get some water. There's a lot of steps. I thought there would be less, but I mean, when you have Node installed, you won't need to install Node ever again. Maybe not. Good. So now you should have, on the command line, you should be able to write Node. Sometimes what happens, if your VS Code was opened before Node was installed, maybe it won't have access to Node. So what you can do to test, you can just write Node, tools. So write that and just try to run this. Oh, I forgot to do something. I'm gonna need to fix something. And you're probably gonna need to fix something also. Yeah. So close your VS Code and open it back up. While you're doing that, I'm gonna need to do something also. I always forget. Was it? I always forget. That doesn't have any difference. Really? What errors do you get? Do you mean in your CPP files? That may be normal for now. We're not done yet. Yeah, that's fine. Leave them be for now. Anyways, VS Code is usually bad at detecting stuff. So why is it trying to get graffiti? Um, Interesting. It wants to use graffiti. So graffiti has nothing to do with what we want to do. So give me a sec. Everything is going well. I don't know why when I was doing it, maybe it was because I was on Linux. let's go see. Like, I always have some reference projects that I use. I mean, maybe we can just like include, so you can remove this for now and we'll test something out. Still wants to spawn graffiti, which is kind of odd as we don't have graffiti. We don't really need it also. Like, this should maybe do it. Did I do true? What you can see is actually that even when you're used to programming, anything can happen. And it already depends on what you're trying to do. Like, for example, even in my project that I was doing right now, I had issues when creating the project. Because C and C++ aren't that easy to start with in making a project. So that's why I use Kink Make to do that. Now, the only thing that I see that's the issue right now is that it's trying to open a graffiti, but it doesn't need to. But it did create the project files. I just don't know why it's trying to use graffiti. But that's the odd thing. Let's just do Windows. I think it's because it's trying to create the icon, but we don't need the icon, right? We already have the folder here, the project. So as soon as you did this, so node, tools, kink make, core make. Once you did that, you should see that a new folder appeared. Now, I'm not saying that it's gonna work for sure, but that's just the project name. So if I rebuild, you're gonna see that it's gonna rebuild the project and everything. You don't need to do that. It's just me for aesthetics, I guess. So then when we did that, when we did the node tools kink make core make.js from the root directory of the project, you should have a build directory here. And if you reveal that in Windows right here, you would have your Visual Studio solution. Now, will that work? Maybe, maybe not. We're gonna need to test it. So do you see your sleepyhead, well, your new project solution? I think there's a delay also between the time you hear me and the time. Really, the node tool doesn't work. Okay. So sad. Well, could you just like click on your make file here and do copy relative path and just use that instead. So do like node and copy that, paste that there. So you control copy relative path and then you have it there. So if you have like special characters, maybe that's going to change how it works, but so did it change or what? Yeah, I know. But that is different than what's available in the core make.js. That's what I mean. Because that, so this command is actually calling this file because we're in the root directory of our application, basically. What happens if I click on that? Yeah, I mean, I need to see your screen, but I can't, right? So. You maybe have a new node version. I have the 15. You have what version? 14, probably. But yeah, we aren't even using the await function, probably. Yes, we are. It should just work, by the way. That's the odd part. When you do a node version like this, what does it give you? 14.6. Eight. Ugh. That's like one of the reasons why. I mean, maybe, but you need to uninstall the old one. Do you know how to uninstall it? I mean, I don't know what version I have on Linux. My version... Yeah, okay. So you can uninstall it. I don't know what version I have on Linux. But it's probably closer to what you have. And I don't get that error. Kind of weird. Anyways, in the meantime, while you're installing that, I'll look if the project actually just works. Because if it doesn't work, we're not better off anyways. So Visual Studio is so long that it will boot at some point. So Sleepyhead opened up. Then we'll do the Marvelous build. Build. Error. RC file not found. Interesting. I think the easiest way to do this would be to So what is it doing? Yeah, let's do the kink build for. Okay, that's really weird. I mean, yeah. I just don't get your system, I guess. Group build. Isn't there a way to... I'm just trying out stuff. Load. Interesting. So it's not even using our file. Oh, because it's using... Ugh. Yeah. So we'll just copy this. I'll just do that for now. And then I'll help you. But if you can't even use Node, we're not better off. I'll just try to have a project working. So if the project works, then we can go and fix your await issues. Because it doesn't matter if the project doesn't work, even if we fix the other issues, we're kind of... So it succeeded. Okay, so right now we're not including the other files that we wanted earlier. So let's do a test. See if we can include your sleepyhead. Yes, we can include this. So we have that. So we had an example, right? So we're gonna go get that example. Getting started. Ah, not at the right place. Sleepy Discord. Getting started. Yeah, there wasn't examples right in here. Let's just do that. I mean, it's probably ugly, but I just want to see if it works. Copy. What do you mean it's undefined? It's right there. Yeah, you're just whining without reason. Okay, so it has issues with the source file. So the ASIO... Oh. I thought ASIO was something else. So we already have issues here. So we'll add exclude files to exclude some files. Project dot add. I think that's it, right? Let's go in graffiti. Go have a look at graffiti. Yeah, graphics. Sources. No. Add exclude. Okay. We're gonna use that. It's not gonna be .git, right? It's gonna be like... So add exclude, and we will exclude... Maybe we should do like std++, and we need to make sure that we have OpenSSL installed. Yeah. Sleepy Discord. So what do we not want? So we need the ASIO stuff. But we don't need the voice, so we can exclude that. So we exclude this. Add excludes, I think we can do that. And I mean, at this point, you're probably thinking, oh, this is getting convoluted. So it isn't convoluted because, or difficult because of KinkMake. It's difficult because of the other project, which has a couple of dependencies. They are included, but you need to make sure that you have, for example, a couple of external libraries. They are system libraries, but so we'll do some tests. Maybe I should do it like that way. That would maybe make more sense. Yes, reload. Why? Because of experience, I guess. Yeah, so we can't find that. The Discord. Okay, so now it just can't find some of the files. This is just because, yeah. That solves one issue. There's an error in her project. Yeah. So now we just have some include files issues. Now we can remove the Opus stuff also. Where is the Opus stuff? What is CPR session? I don't want to do CPR. Interesting. Why can't I find the Opus stuff? Ah, because it's there. So we need to exclude that. And then we're gonna do... We're excluding them to avoid issues, but we'll see if it creates issues. There we go. Well, that's ish done. Okay, so we're gonna reload. And then we compile again for funsies. It's still searching for Opus, and it's searching for Opus in voice connection. So we will exclude voice connection. Voice. Reload. So we removed one error. Now we have issues with thread. So that's an OpenSSL issue, is my guess. Hey, voice connection.h. Where is that? Yeah, but where is that in the solution? Ooh, that's a little bit too much dependencies now. That's why I don't like Visual Studio. So where is voice connection? Voice, voice, voice. Do you have a voice? Voice connection. So it doesn't seem to exclude it. Copy relative path. We might need to add exclude to all files. We'll see. Is that the same thing? Yeah, that's the same thing. So we won't modify that. We'll just modify this. It's kind of annoying. Then we're gonna remove that. And then we'll just test it out. So it's ugly right now, but we don't want it to be pretty. We want to test if it works. Usually anyways, for your projects, you need to make a project once and then you forget it. Ooh, interesting. So it's still searching for voice connection and CPR session. What is the CPR thing? So we probably need that. We don't have that though. So is that an OpenSSL thing? Probably. I mean, we just removed that file. So why is it here? Because we probably exclude it after we include it. Let's see. Voice. H and we use it in the client. Why do we use it in the client though? Oh, and is that what I'm including? Yeah, we're including that, and that includes all the things, and we don't need all the things. So is there any way to say to our waifu, we just don't want that? So it requires those libraries. CPR. Okay, so that's the first indication that this project isn't that good. What I mean is, it's probably good. It probably does what it needs to do, but it doesn't version its dependencies. So it's basically telling you, go get the dependencies that I need for my project. Well, when I say I mean the person's project. So it's telling the people, go get the source files from the other projects and then add them to your project. So we can do that. It's just, it's a pain. And why not add it as a sub-module? So just to explain how like our dependencies could work. So for example, I'm going to show you a library I did. It was just for fun. It was a project, okay? So my project... Yeah, and it's just that, like, the best way of doing it would make for example, the waifu project, she uses CPR, and CPR has a Discord, has a GitHub, right? And it uses also this, which also has a GitHub. So what you would usually do, if it would be structured in a better way, is actually add those dependencies as a submodule. So then people could just do git clone recursive and would get all the dependencies. The other advantage with that, with what I'm telling you right now, is it would make it so that you could just version each. So for example, that WebSocket C++ thing here. So it's at version 0.8.2, right? But let's say that our waifu girl or person decided that when he made his Discord library, it was at 0.7, for example. Well, we can't know that he used 0.7 because it's not versioned in his Git repository or hers Git repository. But if it was all versioned with Git, it would be better because we can know, okay, he used that version, and then it automatically gets it every time because it's a submodule. So the git clone recursive would automatically get the other dependencies for us, and everything would be versioned. So it's not that it's a bad library. It's a library that probably works. It's just for users to set up. That's a pain, and you gotta pray that the version that they used is the latest version that the other person used for the WebSocket++ thing. And for that other dependency, that's this one. And if it's not the right one, you can't know that unless it's specified, but I don't think it's specified. So yeah. At that point, what I would usually do is actually re-implement what that person did. I mean, like a lot of these, like this one isn't that bad. It is LGPL, but it doesn't really matter. So, do you have your dependencies? Like, what are your dependencies? It's not production ready. It's mostly tested on Linux. Nothing preventing it to be usable. And it doesn't seem to have any dependencies. Let's go see. And that's actually just a library file, so we can actually just use that directly. Now, does that compile? I don't know. Let's try something out. Let's do a search for this. So this one seems more recent, but again, it has a lot of dependencies. At least he tells us which version he used, but again, the person didn't include what he needed. Like, he didn't have some modules of his projects. So maybe I'm whining, but still. And he has allocation errors. I mean, making a Discord bot with in C is probably like there's no comments. Sad. Oof. Yeah, I think I would be at that point. I would say roll out your own, and that could be a challenge in its own. I mean, the good part is, for example, for lib Discord, you would have an example. You would also have that other one, Discord C, which is also a good example. I mean, it has a lot of dependencies. But that could probably just be... Because for that, it's just you using that for HTTP requests. So, I mean, you could probably use another... Like what I was using, actually. I don't know what they use libsodium for. Like, I don't want any salt in my life. With a compatible API and an extended API to improve usability. But what is it for? Okay, it's for cryptography. Oh, you can actually version that. And you can get pre-compiled binaries. So, yeah, it's not that bad for libsodium. And the good thing about libsodium is they specify which compiler they used. Now, it only seems to be used on Windows. Or the binaries are only for Windows, but for your use case, it'd be right. It'd be okay. For OpenSSL, I don't know why they use OpenSSL. Maybe because of the needs. Yeah. But my laziness would make me like create my own library. Because the other libraries are kind of... It's not that they're bad, it's more that how they're structured annoy me. But I have this issue, I think. You can do whatever you want. But for me, I would maybe like just not do it and create my other Discord API or just use the JavaScript one. But I mean, you wanted to do a Discord bot for C++ to learn C++. But you would probably be better off like try to make a C basic application. Like let's say we would want to do a basic C application with KinkMake or C++ application, let's say. We'll remove all those darn... Yeah, I would do a different project for C++ because Discord bots demand a lot of things basically, because everything needs to be secure, needs to make sense. Like that's why they have libsodium, so the cryptography works. But let's say we would change our project and we would make a basic command application. It would be way easier. So we would first remove all those because that's bad. And we would just keep this and then do it whatever we wanted. So now we would have a project file. Oh, I forgot to save that. And then reload. That's bad. That's bad. Come on, I don't want that. Okay. Build. And now it would build and all would be fine. And you can just do any basic C stuff. So, what could we do? So right now we're a command line application. Do you have any ideas for something we could do? Like anything basic. Maybe let's try to do the HTTP request thing that I wanted to do on Linux. So let's do that. To get the HTTP request and then just print out the text. So nothing's... And then we go blah blah blah. Are there others? Then of course we want... Ugh. Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. We'll just use that one. So let's do in libraries git sub module add. Then we do project add, and then we would do libraries. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Copy relative path. And that's gonna have all the H files we need. Then we do cd dot code. You don't have that, but it's okay. So we have our new project. Now we can do include, and it would be HTTP. And then we would do HTTP request. Can I zoom this view? Because you probably see nothing right now. I mean, it really depends on your UI, but so zoom. Sadly, the zoom is bad. Yet. And then you have a website that you would like to use for the HTTP GET. Now you should be fine. The squigglies are off. Okay. I don't even know if example.com works. Okay, it works. And then you need to go look at his example. There we go. And in his example, he does while if it's invalid, do that. If it's pending, do that. Now let's just copy paste this. Yeah, let's do. And then we'll build that. And then we'll run. So running is F5. Let's see what it does. So it didn't find the path. So this probably doesn't exist. Interesting. Why did it fail on his own? Oh, okay. The document doesn't exist. Ah, his website doesn't exist anymore. That's why. But we could do this. And that should work. So if we do F5. We received zero bytes because it wasn't a file. Cool. Now, if we wanted an actual file, let's do the image of this. So interesting. Let's do a raw GitHub. So let's say app.h and let's do the raw. That should work. Now, if we compile, it's an invalid request. Okay. Why is it an invalid request? Should just get it, right? Because it's just the file. Let's do it like that. Maybe it's because it doesn't support HTTPS. That's why it doesn't work. Interesting. Moved permanently. And then when we put the HTTPS, it's gonna say doesn't work because it's HTTPS. So it's an invalid request. Interesting. Wow. Just because it's not HTTPS, we're okay. HTTP. Yeah, let's say, do you have a file that I can get? Surely they have like stupid files. Does Google? No, it doesn't have HTTP. I think all websites are going to be HTTPS. So it's kind of sad, but it makes that library kind of useless. Yeah. Kind of sad. Because now it's useless. It's a useless library. Well, it can be used for an HTTP request, but you would need to know where that lies. What's the difference between... So HTTPS added a layer of security when you're calling the website. Because there were some issues apparently. It's security-wise, there were issues with HTTP. Because apparently you could send malicious data easily. Let's say with an HTTP request. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, there are a lot of HTTP server. Kind of sad. But at least I know I can't use that library. But if you wanted to know, like, what's the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? I mean, Google is your friend. Like, I'm not a mostly web person, so... Whoa, okay. Yeah. It just sends the data securely. Secure. Oh yeah, you need an SSL certificate. So that's probably why they use OpenSSL. To actually... Yeah. I mean, Google won't even support... So if you search for an HTTP website, it's actually not going to serve it. Like, if you use Chrome, it's not even... for example, you know the link for the HTTP site. I think Chrome blocked HTTP. So you can't even use it. But yeah, it's outdated. It used to be used for websites, but since we're more secure, yeah. I mean, is there an alternative to OpenSSL? Yeah, well, I don't want... We'll look at nothings. Yeah, there's not any implementations of SSL. Kind of sad though. I would have liked to be able to do an HTTP request. Anyways, we're not lucky tonight. Well, I think it's night anyways in Germany. But yeah. I think I'm going to leave it at that for today. Anyways, I'm going to need to go eat. It's time for the food. Yeah. So making an HTTP request is harder than showing graphics on the computer, which is kind of funny. So see you later, Furex, and have a good one. And maybe we'll see ourselves. Oh, there's a CURL wrapper. Okay, what does that do? Yeah, what happened to the easy CURL? So what does this do? Maybe this could simplify our lives. Simple synchronous HTTP requests. Oh, yay. But how is it a wrapper? Because it wraps? Because I don't know. Curl to memory. That seems like mostly C++ stuff, but maybe it's fine. Maybe you can try that. Yeah, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Don't listen to me try to do stuff that is probably not gonna work anyways, but I'm just curious. Interesting. So how do you do that? call this. Okay, and then downloads a data blob into it. Returns 1 for success otherwise. Cool. I think we're gonna try that. Oh, well, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, no problem. I mean, if I can. I don't know how much I helped you, but still, I tried. Yeah, thanks. So I'll try downloading this, and then I'll try to make my life go see if it works. So we don't need you anymore because you're bad. Well, you weren't bad, but you weren't good either, so get submodule. I added so much submodules tonight. Crazy. Git add submodule this. Like maybe it won't work. But we'll see. So I have this and I want to include that. So we're going to include par. Let's see if it's on par with what we want to do. So dot node I think I want to go too fast. Node repos the hunger. The hunger is calling probably, but I'm gonna survive. Yeah, so we created the project files. Great. Here you go. Reload. Don't save. Ah, there it goes. So I'll remove that and I'll remove this. Now we'll include that R easy curl. Easy curl. That sounds like easy girl, but so he says we need to do par init. And then I called this before. The flags are currently unused, so you can just pass 0. Cool. You see, that's good documentation. You have exactly what you need there. And then par to memory. 2 files. Okay, we can do 2 memory. Number of bytes. So allocates a memory buffer and downloads a data blob into. Returns 1 for success. The byte count should be pre-allocated. The caller is responsible for freeing the returned data. Okay, interesting. The byte count should be pre-allocated. So he wants us to allocate data first. And we don't know how much. Maybe the 2 file is easier. Downloads the file from the given URL and saves it to disk. Returns 1 for success and 0 otherwise. And anyways, for my application that I want to do earlier, yeah, we're going to do that. Let's do that. Now we need a URL. I'm just gonna go have a look. So, did he...
You done well, man.
Okay. I mean, curl probably handles for us the HTTPS stuff. So we're probably gonna be fine. So we'll do that. and the file. We're gonna call it dot out dot. God, I can't write. Okay, so if it failed, it's gonna return. Okay, so well, we can just turn that. Because if it fails, no, it's, yeah, okay, wait. Int. We're gonna return, success is greater. Yeah. So it's yeah, okay. So that the one. We're cheating. So if it's 1, it's going to become 0, which is fine. If it's 0, it's going to become 1, which is not fine. Well, we're going to inverse the condition, basically. I mean, I could have inlined that. So let's try to build first, just to see, do we get any issues? Yeah, we get link errors. So it didn't resolve the reference. Maybe we need to link that. Oh, we need to add the files, is my guess. Or what do we need? So it doesn't need us to define. And then we call this. Oh, so this is C, right? Oh, we don't have curl. So that's probably why. Because it's just a wrapper over curl. So we don't need to include curl. But curl needs to be on the system. Let's just try something. Flag for what's the set? No, I just want the flag. No, not that flag. Linker flag. So we just do L curl. And then we hope that curl is installed. So we're gonna do project dot add curl is probably not on Windows, but we'll see. Yeah, it's not on Windows. Kind of weird though. I would have thought maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's probably because of this here. So let's see. How can we install curl on Windows? That's mostly why I didn't want curl, but curl. Like if we can have curl for Windows. Yeah, okay. I just want libcurl. Okay, so let's do this. We're hoping that they used min.gw. So that's bad. I mean, for my situation on Linux, I'm gonna be okay. So, just to give you the info so you understand what I'm doing. So basically, if you compile a library, let's say with MSVC, with the Microsoft C compiler, and you try to link that with another, well, some code that's been compiled with min.gw. So minimal GNU for Windows. So that's what min.gw means. It won't work because it's not the same compiler. So you're going to have issues because they're going to have different types of assembly or whatever. Well, not assembly because it's going to use the same assembly. But what I mean is they're going to have different symbols and ways of working, and it's going to conflict and it's going to break. So you don't want that. That's bad. So, yeah. Sadly, it seems it's the only way. Like, do you have any releases? Yeah. So we would need to use libcurl. Oh, really? So it ships with a version. Let's see. Tar and curl come to Windows. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's read Craig's announcement. Can I see where it is, though? Let's see. So it seems to have curl. But where is curl in... curl.exe. Okay, so curl is installed. And now I just need to add or include where it is from. So where is it? Let me search. If it's here, that's bad. No, it's on the system. Can I get the path of curl? So, where is it? I mean, like on Linux, we can do something like where curl. Oh, okay, it works. So system 32. That's why I did it, but yeah, system 32. So where is an application to know where something resides on the computer? And I just got lucky and it worked on Windows also. So curl is here. Now, do we have the lib curl? So we just have curl. Cool. Because we're going to need to include it. But that's hoping that they don't use... Now the bad part is if they use... Okay, so they use curl. Do we have any include files? Oh, they even have OpenSSH. Cool. Well, they kind of need it, right? Curl lib curl in Windows. Oh, okay, interesting. So it has a Visual Studio solution. So we could compile it for us ourselves. So that's what we would do, actually. And then... yeah. Can we actually get the source code repo? It's on GitHub. Okay. So we could have used curl from the beginning. That's interesting. Now... yeah, it's a bit... like, there's too much information, but... like, then that simplifies it, I guess. So we'll do that. We'll add that as a dependency. Copy. Let's do a... I'll add like a lot of dependencies. It doesn't matter because I'm gonna destroy the project probably tonight. I won't be using it, but so in the end, we won't use the system libraries because they're not there, but we can actually compile curl on Windows. Now I just need to understand how to do it. So when they have this, it simplifies the work, but this is probably fat. So we have the compiler flags.
It's time to light up the sky with fire. Tonight I want to talk to you about violence in our cities.
Those are disgusting though, but yeah. What do you no no no.
I will use whatever force is necessary to restore order.
So it's the marvelous search. Yeah, go sleep. Bonne nuit, yeah. I don't know how to say it in German, but good night. It's guten Kitchos, but guten something. Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. Good sleeping. I won't be finished anyways soon, so you're better off going sleeping. It's guten Nacht. Okay. Maybe the pronunciation is totally wrong, but still. Yeah, see ya. Wind socket to pipe. Okay. Oh, we're gonna include Windows.h. Oof, that's so terrible. Interesting. But why does it need to check? That's weird. Guten Nacht. Guten Nacht. I don't know if the night, how it's pronounced. So I'll stop for tonight for anyways. I'm pooped also. So bye bye.